And a voice came from heaven. These talks are being recorded as I speak. This will help you to remember what I have said. It is difficult to remember all the words that are spoken, and it is difficult to convey to the mind the meaning behind the words. But if you will pay attention, you will be able to understand. My words are profound, pregnant with the everlasting truth. The only way that you can convey to the mind something that is indescribable is by means of giving the key so that you can open the door yourselves. And this is the meaning of the words, and a voice came from heaven. Heaven is not a place, but an awareness of God. What are you conscious of? Think for a moment. Are you just conscious of yourself, conscious of things external, conscious of what you see and hear with your eyes and ears? Or are you conscious of an inner voice which is waiting to reveal itself to you, revealing its greatness, its mighty power in your lives? When we last gathered here together, I made it plain that the infinite, the life and love I spoke to you about, is above and beyond the conception of the mortal sense. Yet I know that God is infinitely meek and lowly, as well as great and wondrous. He fills all space and creates all, and as you become conscious of this all-pervading life, it is the answer to the soul's deepest and highest aspiration, for love fulfills itself. This love is the only power existing in the world, and when you grasp this thoroughly, you will no longer fear. Love flows from the central font of the Infinite Himself, expressing itself in everything from the very lowest to the highest. It flows through all planes of manifestation, from the mineral substance to the highest angelic beings existing in the cosmos. Learn first and thoroughly that you are and will be forever. Your present condition is an opportunity for spiritual advancement. The condition in which you are in at the present time is one that is most necessary. When you come to learn the great truth that spirit is all there is, and that there can be nothing but spirit, the scales fall from your eyes. I am obliged to use your words and modes of expression. These are wholly inadequate to convey spiritual truth, yet by opening yourself to the Spirit within, you will know what I have said is true. So we will consider together the great truth of God and mankind, His offspring. You, the real you, are not the outward or visible form, nor is your personality the real you, for this is far from the true likeness of your real self. You are a conscious being that lives in reality, the voice from heaven. Become aware of this voice from heaven within, and you will know me also. When you see a most beautiful scene and you wish to portray that scene on canvas, the result is but a copy of it and can never be compared with the real. It is the same with you. The real is in the spiritual plane and exists there as your true self. The outer is but a copy and is blurred by the artistry of the mind reacting to the external world through the senses. Allow the real within to manifest in the outer its wondrous power of love and peace. The creative principle existing throughout the whole universe is invisible to the eyes of humans, invisible to the eyes of angels. Yet it exists as the only reality in all. As the building process, the creative principle in everything, and through it all visible things must come. Then do not blur the outer through ignorance and fear. I am the life. I know myself as life. Therefore, in my knowing, I become the life. And through me and by me, everything has been made that is made. I and the Father are one, for there is no other life. I cannot convey in words to you what I see and know. Yet within yourselves is the Spirit that will enlighten you of the glory that remains permanently now for you to realize. The realization of this spiritual power was the basis of Peter's faith, and enabled my disciples to perform miracles. Yet there is no miracle when the law is understood. And when you also realize this mighty power within, you will know that the creative principle is in your own consciousness, your consciousness being the means through which it is expressed. through your consciousness, everything manifests in your own life. For it is the Father himself who is living in you. This is what I am aware of always. This is what you must always be aware of. Children know things instinctively. Many pertinent questions that a child desires to know remain unanswered through the ignorance of those who are supposed to guide it. These questions remain unanswered for perhaps a lifetime before being asked again. The soul that desires the truth can open the door. For behold, I stand at the door and knock, and whosoever opens I will come in and sup with him, and he with me. This is the great mighty truth of the living God. I and the Father are one. The realization of this truth enables that which is ever present to come forth into your own lives. There is a great force of creator power working in and through you, yet you do not see it. Yet it is that which in itself manifests, and must do so through you, for you were specially made for that purpose. I want you to think clearly on what I have said, so that you can realize the indescribable truth that mortal mind cannot describe. The indescribable can only be realized, for the indescribable is in itself the truth, and will manifest completely when you realize it. It is not what it is, but that it is. You create anew by the life that flows from the center of all life and love. Thus the will of God is done on earth as it is in heaven, and this can be done in you now. There seems to be a barrier between the visible and the invisible that separates us, but this is not true. There is no barrier except in your own minds. There alone exists the barrier between us. Then get rid of this barrier, this separation, through understanding and love. When you enter into the greater consciousness of God, you will no longer be content with the shadows of things, but will seek that which is real and substantial. The invisible is the substantial. The visible is but the shadow. When you see something through your mortal eyes, you say it is real because you can feel and see it. What you are seeing is but the outer expression of something greater that remains invisible. The creative power, the life, the only eternally existing power in the universe, and this is the life principle that lives in you and me and in every living thing. This life is love. This life is peace. I am the life. You think that the passing of great minds from your midst is a loss. This is not so. For those minds become greater and have not left you. They live more in reality than ever before. Therefore you have not lost anything, but have gained a great deal more. Think of your own dear ones who have passed beyond the flesh. You think you have lost them. I can assure you that this is not true. They are greater now than they have ever been, and they are nearer to you now than they have ever been. You realize now that I have not left you, but am still with you. I am in the world transforming the world, uplifting the minds of all to see the truth that dwell within, so that people shall become aware of their own divine nature. The more you know of your true self, the more you will understand me. The great mistake most make is to think that I and my disciples have sojourned to some far-off place, there to wait till some future date when you may arrive at the same place. If you get the passport from some organization that claims to be able to get you an entry. There is no place, only a state of consciousness, and we are with you now. The more you realize this, the more we can come into your lives and help you. Think of what the consciousness of God means to you now. It is the same consciousness in me as it is in you. There's no difference in the consciousness. The only difference is in the degree of awareness or the realization of consciousness. The consciousness of God is not split up into parts. You cannot say that you are a particle of this or a particle of that. God is one whole, complete, expressing himself, and you live and move and have your being in him and he in you. Through your consciousness, you become aware of this, and then your consciousness becomes the power over all things. No earnest prayer is ever disregarded. God knows before you ask what you are in need of. God is love, and you must reverence him with your hearts full of love. What man is there of you when if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone, or if he asks for a fish, will give him a serpent? If ye then, be ignorant of true love, know how to give things unto your children, how much more shall your Father, who is real love, give good things to them that ask him? Some think God is afar off when they pray. I say to you, go into your closet and close the door, and there pray in secret. For your Father hears in secret, and he shall reward thee openly. The meaning is quite plain. In your own secret chamber there dwells the Almighty. The Almighty is not afar distant from you, but is a living expression of reality in you, your reality, your real self. When you pray earnestly in this knowing in secret, in the quiet of your own soul, the whole universe is brought into action to create and express that which you ask. All real prayers are answered instantly, and the time will come when your prayers will also be answered instantly. You must practice praying in secret with your mind at peace. Believe you have received and you shall have. It is wonderful to understand that we, you and I, and all others with us, are one great, united, unlimited whole. One family in which there is no separation, only love. Perhaps you cannot grasp this at first, but as you open yourself to the Spirit of truth, the Comforter that is always with you will reveal all to you. I am the Comforter. I am the life. I am the life, and he who believes in me shall not die. And even if he were dead, he shall live, because I am the life in you. He who believeth in me has everlasting life. Therefore there can be no death, for I am ever alive in you. It is the same Spirit in all. A drop of the ocean has the same quality as the ocean. I am everywhere. By understanding and love, so do you enter into the Christ that dwells in all souls, for there I abide. Ye have heard what I said unto you. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, and I shall not be moved. How slowly do you truly learn that God and man are one? You are afraid to throw away your limitations. Like children, you cling to your toys, your walls, your partitions, your churches, your chapels, your synagogues, your mosques. Oh, could I gather you all together under my wings and show you the one life in all? You often wonder why you are so long in learning that God is all life, and that this life is perfect love, seen and unseen. This is because you try and grasp the truth from without instead of within. How you all like to cling to the things that you are afraid to lose. He who retains his life will lose it. He who gives up his life will retain it. I speak from the Christ I always did, and that is why my words seem strange to those who only live in the outer. Millions are still in bondage, yet at all times my door is open to all to come in and sup with me. A Satan tries to bar the way, and a Satan is the false personality, the Satan of the senses that all have to overcome. This illusion of mortal sense is the only hindrance to the realization of true spiritual consciousness, for the kingdom of heaven is within yourselves. I am the life, the same as 2,000 years ago. As Moses and Elijah were 2,000 years before my appearance on earth, yet it was the same life expressed in all. I am before Abraham. Time does not exist. I am now as I was always and always will be. In this realization, you must also remember that you are the living expression of the Almighty, for the Father is ever working in you. The divine power that exists in you is the same as in me, and as your consciousness unfolds into the greater consciousness of God, so you will know me. The voice of the Christ is fearless and all-powerful. Christ is the conqueror and will conquer, for it is the law of God that the Christ shall have dominion over all things. The symbol of the cross is the Christ in man overcoming the world. The awakening in the temple not made with hands. The consecration, the temptation, the crucifixion, the resurrection, and the ascension. This is the Christ the conqueror. The stages I have already explained to you, and thus it will be unnecessary for me to explain it again. But if you read my words again, the Spirit within you will reveal more of the truth. As you unfold, so will the Spirit reveal to your consciousness the secret that dwells within the secret chambers of your heart. I am the life. I am the truth. I am the way. No one enters to the Father except through me, the Christ. There is no other way. There never has been any other way. The Christ is the Word of God, the Word that was God, the Word that was with God, and the Word that was made flesh. This is your real self, in reality, as God the Father knows you, and so must you know yourself to be. The voice of the carnal sense is the voice of the shadow, the Satan that suggests separation, limitation, sickness, death. Then hold fast to the Christ, only begotten Son of God, the Father of all. Do not fear Satan, for there is nothing to fear. All you need say is, "Get thee behind me, Satan, of the carnal mind." I am the Son of God, the Son of Man. I am the conqueror. I do not live by myself, but by the Father who is always with me. He is my guide. These things I have said to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulations, but have courage. I have conquered the world, and so shall you conquer the world. The Father, the overruling Spirit, is the living life. The Christ is his Son, that dwells in every soul. And the Holy Ghost is the expression of the Christ consciousness in wholeness, in the understanding of, I am the life. Nothing can assail you, for I am the conqueror within. If you can feel this truth in your own heart and mind, you will know that you are also the conqueror, and you will also know that you are free. So you will overcome the Satan of the senses. Get thee behind me, Satan. Then worship God through Christ. There is no other way. There never has been except in name. I am he who lives, was crucified, and behold, I am alive forevermore. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to Father except by me. Christ is the consciousness of the supreme, infinite life manifesting in the world. The Christ is the truth, the life, the love that unites all God, and only through love can you be with God. For God is love. I am one with the Father through love. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy soul, with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy strength, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Christ is the Son of God, born into the world, and he remains in the world till the world is transformed, so that the will of the Father which is done in heaven shall also be done on earth. The only title for God is our Father, and it is the best I know and becomes more comprehensive as you grow in the knowledge of him who created you. You are his reflection, his likeness. When you know the Father and you are one, the union that always exists becomes known to you. But these words must not remain in your mind as a mere word. You must truly understand them. The true meaning of these words can only come from within yourself. What you are hearing now through your ears will remain with you. You will remember these words that I have spoken. They will linger in your hearts till the Spirit of truth begins to manifest in you. Then you will know the true meaning of my words. That which is already established in the consciousness of God must be established in the consciousness of man. And through the realization and recognition of your oneness with the Father, so this consciousness is established in you. I know how true this is. All those who have passed into the higher realms of consciousness begin to understand the mighty power that comes through this realization. This very form that I am overshadowing tonight, as you see, youthful in expression, The face is filled with vitality. The body is filled with a force that regenerates every cell of the body. This is because my consciousness at the moment is one with his consciousness. The consciousness of our beloved brother is one and the same with mine at this moment as I overshadow him. In reality, there is no separation between us. Separation is a mental illusion. Great is this mighty truth. If you can receive this influence now, every one of your bodies shall be charged with life, for the Father dwells in you too. Everything has been entrusted to me by my Father, and no man knoweth who is the Son except the Father, and who is the Father except the Son, and to whomsoever the Son wishes to reveal him. These words seem strange to you, but when you think deeply about them, you will see the inner meaning. The Father knows the Son, and the Son knows the Father, and the Son can also reveal the Father to those to whom he wishes to reveal the Father, because the Son knoweth the Father, and the Father knoweth the Son. Blessed are those who see what you see and hear what you hear. I have been given the power of victory, for the Son lives in the Father, and the Father lives in the Son. How can mere words explain this truly glorious truth? Only by the Spirit that is within you, the Comforter that is always with you, ready waiting to express himself, can the truth be known. Ask, and the gift will be yours. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the seeker finds. The door is open to anyone who knocks. Whatsoever you would have men do unto you, do you the same to them. Know in your own heart that that which you see in others is established in yourselves. And whatsoever you would have man do unto you, do first unto them. Never be troubled about tomorrow. Now is the only time. Make now your reality, and tomorrow will take care of itself. Then do not worry about the future and miss the wonderful now. The consciousness can only create in the now, not tomorrow, not in the yesterday. Yesterday is but a memory. Tomorrow is but a hope. Now is the only creative moment. You can only create in the mind of God moment by moment, and that is now. And that which you create in the mind of God now is already established. Then tomorrow takes care of itself. Do not weep with those who weep, but help them by the mighty love that reigns within. As a mother would love her child, so you must feel the love for all. All are children of God, from the highest to the lowest, and when you recognize this, you will know only one family, where there is no separation. Learn to become unselfish. This is the secret of receptivity. You are not a bit of the Spirit, but you are one with the whole. Spirit cannot be separated from itself. When you truly become aware of this, transformation takes place, for receptivity is to receive. The truth is that God is always pouring his gifts out to you, and if you want his gifts, you have to open up to receive. This receptivity is a secret of greatness. The secret of all true existence is unselfishness. Therefore, giving is receiving. I often wonder what your thought would be if you could see at this moment thousands upon thousands now listening to these words, bringing clear the understanding that the love of God dwells on earth as it does in heaven, dwells in the outer as it does in the inner. I have said, if you know me, you will know my Father too. But if you do not know my Father, how can you know me or understand my word? I speak from the Christ. Where do you speak from? The mortal sense? Do you react to conditions, or do you realize that within yourself dwells the power of God, the consciousness of I am the life, I am the truth, having dominion over all things? Within yourself is the Father. Know that it is so, and he will come forth through you. This is the light of the world, and the world does not overcome the light, but the light overcomes the darkness. I am the light of the world, and the darkness disappears because of my light. This is the light of man. It is the expression of infinite love and wisdom and creates the perfect state in mankind. The source of your being is God. And when you become awakened to this, you will know the Father who is in the Son, who is in you also. As the consciousness of the mortal sense becomes aware of the Christ consciousness, the mortal sense is risen into the Christ consciousness. As the Christ, I overcame the world and all that is in the world. I overcame mortal sense, the carnal mind, the Satan of the senses, and so shall you. Thus you will understand that the voice from heaven is the consciousness of God. Man, by his own thoughts, creates his prison walls according to his concepts. So is he limited. Even your greatest conception is a limitation. It is not what life is, but that life is. Creation on the plane of the concrete is the effect of the invisible cause within. Your physical body serves as a starting point for further advancement, which has to be made through conscious realization of the totality of all spirit as the ever-present, eternal, and the only substance, power, life, its expression being love. Love thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and love thy neighbor as thyself. This is the law upon which the foundation of the race stands. In the parable of the prodigal son is shown the love of the Father, the Son's indulgence, his repentance, his regaining himself, his true spiritual state. First of all, he suffers trials and tribulations, spends his inheritance, then he returns willingly to become a servant, yet becomes a son as he always was a son. The Father's love is so great that no matter what the Son has done, the Father's love obliterates all error. How true this is in every life. Errors are corrected when you become aware of the truth. It is experience through which you can rise out of conditions into the understanding of yourself. Then the error dissolves into nothingness, and the truth stands free as it was from the beginning. Repentance comes before forgiveness. Repentance comes from the heart of man as he realizes the Father's love, and he is forgiven. Then man regains his true spiritual state, the awareness of himself and God, willing to become the servant of all, to do unto others as he would have done unto him. It is when you become like the prodigal son that the feast is laid before you. Come in, partake of it now with love for your brothers and sisters, for only through love can you partake of the feast that the Father has prepared for you. This is what you also have to learn upon earth. How often have you withheld your love from someone who you thought did wrong? It is none of your business anyhow. It is all between the Father and his child. And if you remember this, you will refrain from criticizing others and turn this weapon upon yourself first. You will understand others better when you see your own faults first. You would condemn. Condemn not lest ye be condemned. Judge not lest ye be judged. Take the plank out of your own eye. Then you may be able to see better how to take the splinter out of your brother's eye. We are finding channels everywhere, teaching all over the world by secret ways, as we are doing here in the physical plane, but also in the inner plane, where some have not yet recognized the true nature of their being. I am speaking not only to you, but also to others whom you do not see with mortal eyes. When they understand, they will go forward to the glory that awaits them. As they lift their consciousness into the higher state, they find that they have no longer bound to earth, but are free, released from the bondage they themselves created in their own minds. Accept my word, and you will also be free. Keep your hearts full of love for God and for all mankind, and I will teach you much. If you do not understand all I say, wait. Listen. Tune in to me, for I am simple and easy to reach. It is written in the prophets that the people shall be all taught of God. Every man, therefore, that hath heard, that hath learned of the Father, cometh unto me. God, who commanded the light to shine in the darkness, hath shone within my heart to give the light and understanding of the glory of God. Prayer. Peace and love be with you. O eternal Father, thy nature is planted in us all. We have realized thy presence and find thy nature expressing itself in our lives, blessing all and bringing all to thee. Loving Father, as thy Son speaks, bless those who would listen to, and those who may read thy words with love and understanding. Amen. So be it.